What's up, everybody?
What's going on? What's going on? How y'all
doing? Don't mind us. We're just being fried. But, man, okay. I'm trying to be. I know I'm supposed to stay on subject. I know this. But this man just told me that they had a thing on Screw. They had a thing on Screw Attack where they matched up Madara Uchiha with Sosuke Aizen. Now, on the surface, if you don't know anything about like power levels and how some stuff works in their relative universes, you'd probably be like, okay, well, one's got eyes that can hypnotize and do things to people, and the other one's got a sword that hypnotizes and does things to people. Why not, right?
Hold on, sir. Where are your manners? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages.
I'm sorry.
For those of y'all who do not know me, I go by the DarksKing poet. That's DarksKing with a G on the end.
And I go by NeRo, AnGeLo.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the Black in a Minute podcast. All right, sponsored by Swiman Art.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Shout out to the new set as well.
Yeah.
Hope y'all like it. NeRo came in hot and heavy.
Look, this is why you
not mind this, man.
Look.
We're gonna wait for everybody to get in as well.
This is why you can't show ignorance to me off the gate, like, because now I gotta ask questions.
Can y'all hear us? Do we sound good?
Now I gotta ask questions. Like, now I'm concerned. Huh? Look, because now I'm concerned. And now it's just like, all right. I had told myself I was not going to watch that video. I really did. Because I was like, there ain't no way. It don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, the answer is obvious, and there's no point in even bothering that. Then you decide to tell me that it's literally going to be, oh, thank you, Magic System. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Now you're going to tell me, you're going to have the nerve, the unmitigated gall to tell me that they did that. I'm not even going to say what that is because I'm not giving them publicity. You want to watch it, watch yourself. But, dog, just know, I don't see it. like, no. Like Stevie Wonder trying to peep a pop fly. I don't see it. Anyway.
I'm working on, ladies and gentlemen, I'm working on my soundboard as well.
This man got a soundboard, bro.
So, don't be surprised if you hear a soundboard going off.
He has a soundboard. I don't even know how to feel about it. But
let me I gotta get it cranked up.
Oh no.
But we hope y'all doing all right tonight.
Yeah.
Sunday night as usual. Hopefully your last week was great. As you know, Sunday technically starts a new week. So we hope y'all are starting a new week off right, especially listening to the Men of Black in a Minute.
Yes, indeed. Because if you don't know, now you know. This is a wonderful place to be, and this is a wonderful
pretty much
arena and area for you guys to really express yourselves, because we're open to expression. We're open to people speaking on the things that they think about and
Facts.
They muse about, So, we're totally open to that. We're totally fine with that. Yeah.
If you guys are watching, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Help us beat that YouTube algorithm.
Yeah, because it doesn't like us.
Facts.
Honestly, at this point, I don't think it likes anybody, but yeah, it don't like us. Man, okay. I feel some type of way. I'm trying to get over it. It's not working.
I was gonna say, hold your composure, sir.
It's not working.
Don't let them. Watch it first. I didn't think you would, which is why I spoiled it. But is the quality good,
didn't
y'all?
Either.
Visually, we're also streaming on Instagram. For those of y'all who are on Instagram or want to watch it on there, we should be also streaming on there as well.
Look, I didn't watch it because I thought it was going to be that way. and it wasn't.
Well. Man, we hope y'all are doing all right tonight.
How? Because
you know how?
Because you know, and I know, there ain't no way. There ain't no way.
Look,
bro.
Shout out to my boy Fox. I wish he was on here. I would actually ask him specifically.
Right.
Because this dude is like the biggest bleach head I know. And he Naruto and he watched Naruto as well.
I mean,
I know he wouldn't agree with that.
I know he would. You know why? It's called common sense, Sid. It's called common sense.
Hey, I don't make the rules.
Clearly not. Because no. Like, ain't no way, G. Ain't no way. No, man.
Whoa.
For those just tuning in, this man hit me with some foolishness right before we got knee deep into the pod. So now, I have to deal with the emotional damage associated with it.
Bumping the mic. Sorry about that, y'all.
I get to hold this in public.
It's okay.
Good Lord. Somebody just posted up an old picture of Lil' Kim before, like,
all the surgery?
Yeah.
I don't see no pictures of how Lil' Kim used to look.
Why?
Made me cry.
Yeah, it would.
Because I know. I remember.
She was pretty. Like,
I remember.
It hurts.
I remember. I remember. Sad.
I gotta stop scrolling while I'm on here because too many.
See this man.
Too many of y'all be on foolishness. Like, ugh.
What's going on, Kiki? How you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, shout out to whoever's on Twitch checking us out. Appreciate you.
What's up?
Most people stick to YouTube, but shout out to you as well. We appreciate our Twitch supporters as well.
Yes. We appreciate you all. Seriously, we do.
Y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but y'all are watching our live stream, and we appreciate that.
Yes, indeed.
Kiki says, "Do you truly remember?"
The truth. Oh God, what's she saying? Do we truly remember? What, those who started out, the OGs? I mean, I
don't know. I'm so old, and I'm trying to. I'm like, let me think about that. Let me get back.
You remember?
Do you remember
the 21st night of December? No. Too soon,
bruh.
I mean,
hey, I got a little soundboard going. But yeah.
Out of pocket. This man got a whole soundboard.
I mess around with it. I'm trying to like tweak it and everything else.
Yep.
But you know.
Lord, I'm talking about Sid because he keeps saying I remember. Oh, look, I don't know. He might.
Anyway, so I hope that answers your question, Kiki.
I don't think it does.
But back to the music.
Pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it don't. Answer the question. I don't think that
I've decided it does.
That's not an answer. What's wrong with you?
You know, sleep is the cousin of death.
Yes, face palm him. Face palm him.
All is good in the universe. I promise.
Indeed. All is well.
All is well that ends well, as they say.
Well, we certainly hope so. Otherwise, we just been believing that phrase for no functional reason.
Bruh.
I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
But y'all know the demo. We're going to get started with the main discussion here in about 5 minutes or so. And I mean, this won't be our longest. This won't be on the longer side of things. We're just talking affirmations and stuff. You know, we really want to make sure that you guys have the best mindsets going forward.
Right.
We understand that a lot of people seem to be going through all different kinds of things, you know. And we want to give you guys some words of affirmation as well as just talk about words of affirmation in general. We talked about goal setting last week. And for some people, words of affirmation hold a firm and solid position in their lives when it comes to accomplishing things.
Speaking of words of affirmation, let's put out some kind words for since this track is playing for Cinematic, aka Todd, because he's actually in the hospital right now. He said he's doing better on here. I see it on here. I don't know what he's going through, what's going on, but you know, we extend thoughts, feelings, prayers.
Wishing you a speedy recovery. Whether you're watching this or not.
Yep.
Cinematic is
another fellow artist,
the guy who's rapping on this track right now.
Yep. A talented artist in his own right. Definitely got a lot of years under his belt.
Co-rapper.
Most definitely. He's good behind the camera, and you know, he's always been a very insightful person, and I appreciate that. You know.
Actually one of the few tracks that you'll find me on out in the wild on is Cinematics.
Oh yeah, on his album. That's right.
Yeah, it's a song called I Got This.
Right.
It's about persevering.
Right.
And pushing through no matter what.
And I mean,
it's a dope track.
Right.
I go back and listen to it every once in a while.
And I mean, honestly, something that I appreciate.
I don't like hearing myself on tracks like that, but
this is a little bit off subject. But like, I appreciate somebody like him because he's not a gatekeeper, and he absolutely could be. You know what I'm saying?
We'll drop a link in the comments,
right,
to some of his music so you guys can check him out, show him some support while he's
recovering.
While he's recovering.
Yes, sir. You know, we give credit where it's due. Dog, I just seen something where they taking acrylic nails putting them on somebody's front teeth to make it look and coloring them the same color as the tooth enamel, so that way it looks like they got rabbit teeth, bro.
Lord,
look at this. Look at this.
All right,
dog, it's real. It's real. They even got stuff dangling off of it like it's real nails. Like Bugs Bunny would never. Like,
how are y'all doing tonight? How we doing this evening? Somebody tell me something.
Right. Let us know something, because otherwise I'm gonna keep scrolling and you gonna get treated to some ignorance at some point. I'm not even gonna cap. You will see some foolishness.
What's going on with y'all? How y'all doing? Don't be quiet. Tell us what's up.
Let us know what's up.
Also, there will be a sale coming soon. Not gonna tell you when.
Yep.
But there will be coming a new sale on merch coming.
Yep. Oh, you're doing pretty good. Wonderful. Yeah, because we did miss that one sale just because of extraneous circumstances that was outside of our control. So we are gonna hit you up with another sale. You know, that way people can, you know, make some headway, get some of this lovely merch content. But yeah, Magic System says she's definitely doing better. Wonderful.
Good.
We appreciate that.
Love to hear it.
Right.
Pretty good.
That's what we like to hear.
For sure. Y'all, I got an earache. So if y'all see me doing some odd side neck routines like I'm a dog with a flea, bear with me. If I accidentally hit the mic, bear with me. It's bothering the heck out of me.
He's struggling right now. He's having some technical difficulties.
Some personal technical difficulties.
That too. But yeah. And if you notice me stretching, that's because I slept wrong. So my neck, like right here, is stiff. And my shoulder is, but I don't know. I'm so old.
You got that great grandpa neck tonight.
Right? Right, though? Bro. It's meant crazy.
Definitely share this, you guys. Want to get a few more people in the conversation.
Definitely.
Let's talk what keeps you up. I want to hear that positive self-talk tonight.
Right. Because that's really what this is about. Affirmations is nothing more than positive self-talk. We want to know, in what ways do you get affirmation and what ways do you desire? Actually, I'm just going to write it out.
Nick going to drop a question for y'all.
Yes, of course, as we always do.
Also, we're just throwing this idea out. Might be something coming soon. You never know how it will be coming in some capacity. But what do you guys think about, like, maybe a possible, I don't know, like a midweek late night conversation, like maybe something like a green room, Spotify green room, or a Spaces, or even a Discord, you know, where we just have a candid, open room conversation about whatever's going on in the world, or whatever just comes to mind. Basically, just like almost a more informal, kind of dirty, strike up a conversation type of situation. Little chat room, basically, if you will.
Right.
If we do it, it'll be on probably Facebook or Discord, or even Spotify, since those are like the three biggest spaces where you do those kind of things.
Right. So people can talk, they talk.
Yeah. It won't be video, it'll just be audio. You know, kind of like Clubhouse and that kind of stuff.
Right. Well, we definitely have an upvote for Kiki Nikoru.
Cool.
In fact, put a like down if you think that would be a
great drop idea. A thumbs up if that sounds good.
Right, either in the comments or as a form of a like. We can see both. Kiki, you did that and wrote something, so you are. So
we got you. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you for following directions before we even had any direction.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you.
But yeah, this is just something that I wanted you guys to see.
Boy,
there's a question of the week. In what ways would you like to receive affirmation? And if anybody needs affirmation, define for them, just in case, you know, maybe this isn't a word that you receive all the time. If this is something that's more math related, what can be done to help you? You know, like what would be the way that you want to be, in essence, treated? Like, let's see. Let me go ahead and pull up the affirmation. Affirmation is the action or process of affirming something or being affirmed, which is an emotional support or encouragement. Why do you think that I run myself? Or in law, it's a formal declaration by a person who declines to take an oath for reasons of conscience.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, if we do this, we're going to need y'all help. Y'all know, for every one of y'all at least know 5 people who got an opinion about something out there in this world today.
Right.
We need to ask you. We need y'all to invite your friends. We're gonna try to put it in a format when it does come. No date yet. That makes it easy to just share it and have people drop into the conversations so we can talk about some ish. Because we know y'all got opinions far beyond whatever our subjects are every week, right?
Yes.
Let's talk.
Absolutely. And like I said, if you guys need any sort of clarification, please let me know. I have no problem doing that. Or even if you would like us to start, we can do that too.
I'm playing with this soundboard.
Yep, acting up. That's what you meant to say. You acting up with the soundboard. I should grab some water.
If you guys are in here, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Yes.
We're going to go ahead and get into it, though.
Yeah.
NeRo, I'm going to let you start, sir.
All right. So, what? We're just answering the question, or what do you want to talk about?
Just in general, man. This was your subject.
Yeah, true. When it comes to affirmations, I think that affirmations are important because it's another side of the coin of validation.
Okay.
In that people require validation. Okay, Magic System says she needs more clarification. Let me go ahead and do that. So when I say in what ways would you like to receive affirmation, like people give words of affirmation. Like affirmation is basically declaring somebody declaring support for you or supporting you, either emotionally, vocally, however,
or yourself.
Right.
Words of motivation, essentially.
Right. So when you're talking about affirmation, it pretty much involves motivation and or support.
Positive reinforcement.
Yeah. So maybe I should say, in what ways would you like to receive emotional support? Because that's a little closer to what it is. It's emotional support. Because I know not everybody is into just having sweet words said to them. You know, so that's what people tend to go to when it comes to affirmation, because they call it words of affirmation. But there are people who might need something a little different. They might be all right if their kid goes to boot camp or something. You know what I'm saying? But they may not be all right with another situation. They may require some help with that. So that's kind of where we're going. You know, we just want you to personalize it. I hope that helped.
Like, I'll give anybody that know me, I mean, whether you know me as an artist or whether you know me personally, I have one simple word. That's my word of affirmation. You know, it's kind of synonymous with me, and that's power.
Yeah.
You know, that's not just something I say for the podcast. For those of y'all who are just coming to see me in the podcast, that's my word.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just, all it really is my version of essentially black power, but it's more than just black power. It's power, period.
Yep, straight up.
So, you know, for me, when I say that, literally what I'm saying is, you know, in whatever I choose to do and how I choose to move,
right,
it's all about power. It's all about having the power to get through, get over, you know, and persevere.
It's the acknowledgement of said power as well.
Yeah.
The acknowledgement that type of power can be yours. That type of power can be in your grasp, and it doesn't require as much as you may think. I see affirmation as a way to confirm what you should already understand. Because at times, as someone who told me before, they asked me, do you really know how dope you are? And I was like, I guess so. It was like, no, you need to know that. And that's an affirmation. It's really something where it's like, you do give yourself credit. You give, or someone else gives you credit for what you do. You know, they make a point to let you know that what you do is of value, of significant value. Magic System said having conversations of affirmations, not just words, but long conversations of affirmations. Okay,
and that works too. I mean, there's no format limit.
No, because like I said, everybody's different, and some people encouraging words are bread and butter for them.
Yeah, some people have a self-talk, a speech.
Yes.
You know, a mantra.
Yeah.
You know, if you will, declaration. So I mean, you know, even a motto that, like, no dip, like literally some of those type of phrases aren't that far off from what that is, a chant, right? So yeah, I mean, all of those things kind of fall under that umbrella,
right?
You know,
because affirmations are nothing more than, at the end of the day, they are beliefs, or the concept of beliefs given form, where you are giving life to whatever it is that you're saying.
For example, one of the most rudimentary forms, expressions, or words of affirmation is, I can do this. Have y'all, like, I'm sure everybody can relate to being in a situation some point in time in their life where they had to talk themselves into doing something.
Yeah.
That is literally you giving yourself words of affirmation.
Yes.
I can do this. I got this. Come on. Some people,
Right.
some people like to say their name, like, come on, Sid, you can do this.
Right.
You're literally
Giving
doing
yourself.
that.
Yeah.
That's literally you doing that. Some people are more specific with that,
Right.
though, in terms of what they say.
Kiki Nikoru said, through actions, showing support, and emotionally, just someone making time to be there for me. Okay. Yeah. So you like just for a person to truly be present with you. They don't necessarily got to say a whole lot or do a whole lot, but you want them there with you for support. Okay. I'm feeling that. And I can agree with that. I think I'm some part of both. I like having conversations, and sometimes through conversation, I do receive the affirmations that I need, that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do or handling things in a way that is proper and right.
You mean reassurance?
Yes. Yeah. So for me, I guess mine is reassurance.
Reassurance.
Reassurance that I'm still on the same path, on the right path.
And or validation.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Affirmation and validation go hand in hand, because affirmations lend to validation in that it keeps somebody from feeling left out while also giving them what they need to not feel that way.
Okay.
Because proper affirmations should keep you from being desperate to be validated. And I mean, realistically, you have a lot of situations where people don't receive these things. People don't actually get affirmations. People don't actually get any confirmation that, that they're doing what they're supposed to do. There are a lot of people who work a lot of thankless jobs. And by that, I mean, these are jobs or positions or whatever that is automatically kind of confirmed, where you are not that important. What you do, not saying you should be like up here in terms of being a big deal, but you should be someone of significance. You should be doing something of significance, because as a person who wants to be, validated, you want to feel worthy. You want to feel like you are worth or value, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. For me, I think, and I'm gonna say that probably because I'm because of poetry, right? And just growing up, primarily in like more so middle school and high school, being in choir and having to do performance and stuff.
Right.
It was just natural for me to have to get out there on the stage and put myself in a position that, for the longest I was not comfortable with. And I ain't even gonna lie, still some ways there be some type of, there's like some type of what used to be anxiousness turned into more so like goosebumps. But in either case, I always had like this whole, all right, you're gonna do this, you can do that, you got this, you already know you about to kill it. It literally be like a whole self-talk,
right?
Self-pep talk, basically, to myself, like, hey, this, go out there, handle it. If you start to feel like this, do that. Anything that can be that validation or reassurance to propel you to go forward or continue to do something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And hold on, Magic System says, I have to also be reassured from my friends that they still care, because a lot of friends aren't present in my life physically. But I also give myself positive affirmations and have to be present in the moment. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely get you there, Magic Case System.
Because here's the thing. No one should treat you better than you treat yourself. And if they do, then that's amazing, and you stick to them for dear life. But realistically, you are supposed to be the only person that can control you. I mean,
And if you need help with that,
Yeah.
while especially if you have friends or family, there's usually somebody that you can talk to. Like I said, like we've talked about before, don't be afraid to look into therapy too, because sometimes we
Right.
get in this weird, I won't say weird, we get in the complacency of having that comfortable voice, usually
Yeah.
a friend
Yeah.
or a parent or somebody
Just
that we
someone
can talk
who
to.
is willing to lend you encouragement and does it very effectively.
Or it can be that, but also just be mindful of the fact that with people who aren't a professional,
Mm.
that there is biases that can affect the effectiveness of those people. So just keep that in mind, because sometimes we get the wrong kind of reassurance,
Mm.
we get the wrong kind of advice.
Oh God, yes.
Sometimes people around us can enable us to not move forward. Sometimes people even, especially when it comes to your friends,
Mm-hmm.
be mindful if you got one of those friends that's like really pessimistic, especially in this time and age, because a lot of people are leaning towards being very cynical and
Yeah.
pessimistic when it comes to how they feel about the outlook of the world. And I say that because sometimes things can definitely feel very defeating, and you want to be mindful of having those kind of people that talk like that a
Right.
lot around you.
Like they basically constantly throw shade and just like
It can
or
be
say, well, more
it can be
specifically,
shade or just doom and gloom,
yeah.
like
Or
hopeless people.
or even people who give backhanded compliments to where
Yeah,
it sounds good on the surface until you think about it and you're like, okay,
yeah.
no.
Any comment that compares or that outwardly compares something to something else, like, oh, that's nice for this or for a. Be mindful of those kind of things, um, especially when we seek to want to have reassurance and those kind of things for friends, because sometimes people give bad advice and reassure you of things to make essentially not the best decisions. And sometimes, we might think we in the right because, like, yeah, this person agreeing with me. So
Right.
that's the reassurance I'm getting that this is the right decision to make. But
Right.
is it really though?
I
You
think
know,
that's basically a confirmation bias.
basically, it
Like
is. It is.
which we're doing a lot of terms today, but
We are. So sorry for the word salad.
it can't be helped. So yeah,
um,
look, the tendency confirmation bias is the tendency to interpret new evidence as confirmation of one's existing beliefs or theories. So yeah, basically the concept that somebody else or you having a bunch of yes men telling you that you're doing all right automatically means that you're doing all right.
oh, good for you, Magic K Systems. And for the record, I was just saying that as general advice as far as therapy goes to anyone. But that's good. You're seeing two therapists, and no, that's nothing to be ashamed of. Like, if
Mm-mm.
anything, you should be ashamed if you know you need that help and you're
You
not
don't
getting
get
it,
it, or if you're
and you're
adamant,
capable.
or if you know you need the help, you're capable and you're adamantly against it.
Yeah, I'm not seeing two therapists. I'm seeing one, and I'm
No,
proud of that too. Because you don't have it all figured out,
no,
and
no
you're
one
not
does.
as strong as you think you are.
And no one person does. So having an outside opinion or somebody who can kind of explain things in context for you is intensely helpful. I mean,
And
it's just the
honestly,
truth.
the further away from you they are,
Mm-hmm.
the better. Which is what, besides them being professional people who go to school to study in this area, in these areas,
Mm-hmm.
they're that less closer to you, so they have that less of a reason, that much more of a reason to not agree and comply to just what you're saying. You know, they got a reason to push back on you
Right.
and what you may believe. They can easily question what you may think is right or so.
And half the time it's just because they see that you're trying to do better with your life and they have a significant problem with it. So therefore they try to either infiltrate or they try to cause trouble and issues and discord.
For many people, words of affirmation can also, and reassurance and what have you, can also offer direction.
Yes.
There's so many people, and typically they're young, but not all the time. But there's so many young people, and by young people, I'm mainly talking to like my Gen Zs, so like my just barely getting out of high school, early 20s folks that I've heard say they don't know what they're doing with life. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they want to do. They got too much. They got the paradox of choice going on. So they got a million different things they could be doing, and they want to do everything. So they can't really set their mind on one thing. And you got people over here saying, "Yeah, you should do that." Yeah,
Right.
you should do that. Yeah, you should do
Right.
that. And we have to be careful with that.
Yeah.
Because just like how I just described on the negative aspect, sometimes we get a little bit too idealistic when we're talking about positive in the positive sense, where we're thinking we're offering support because we're being positive, but we're not being realistic in what we are essentially trying to convince people to do.
That, and you have to be very careful that, just like with that example, that your affirmations don't become enabling.
Yeah, for sure.
Because here's the thing, we don't want to be enabling.
For sure.
If you're giving people giving people an affirmation concerning something that severely inflicts their mental health, or something that severely afflicts and hinders them as an individual, then yeah, you don't deserve to be in the monument at all. And also, who like anytime that you're the type of person who is giving out the affirmation, or even receiving it, you should always make certain that whatever affirmations you give are rooted in reality, and you should make certain that your expectations as someone who is receiving it is rooted in reality.
Hey, facts.
And I mean, for real. And it's not to be rigid, and it's not to be like, oh well, you can't believe in what you want to believe in. No, you can't. Beliefs are what keep us as a society alive. There's no way we would survive without
some form of belief system.
Yeah. Because people have to understand. We have a natural understanding of the fact that there is more to life, and there's more to the world, and there's more to what is going on. Interestingly enough, I heard a song, and it wasn't like the whole song. It was actually just part of it, and it was a song called said there is more, and it says you're alive because there's more. Nothing is an accident.
Bro, can you share that for
yeah, I can just share a little clip of the lady playing it, because honestly that's what kind of touched me in all honesty. But I might share that real quick, because I really did like that, and I happened to hear it, and I was like, you know what, this is really great. Because for me, sometimes you need that as a result of the fact that sometimes you really do. Oh, you're alive because there's more. That's what it's called. Because sometimes you are confused about that. You are worried and bothered about whether you're making the right decisions, whether the things that you're doing and the way that you're thinking is correct. And sometimes you're wondering why you're even here, on this earth.
Yeah.
And that's a legitimate concern that all of us have.
Striving for purpose.
Absolutely. And striving for purpose and then perfection. But the simple fact is, you're alive. I like that phrase, that you're alive because there's more. And that not you're alive because you're going to be a billionaire. You're alive because, you're going to be famous one day. You're alive because you're going to spend the rest of your life in a cubicle. No, you're alive because there's more to life. There is more to life. There is more that you need to do. There is more than you need to discover. There is more that you just need to figure out, because life is a process, and it changes, develops, grows, all that with you if you allow it.
That's true. That's true.
But like I said, we don't want to, at the same time, we don't want to always do the same song and dance for everybody, and they're not putting any effort forth, or they think that all they need is that little affirmation, and then they can go about their business and do whatever it is they want. No, we wanted to hit home that affirmations have to be rooted in reality.
For sure.
They have to be.
Or, as Thanos would say,
yes, absolutely. Perfectly balanced. You have to balance realism with encouragement, because affirmation is a form of encouragement as well. And it's kind of funny that we ended up bringing this up, because in a way I feel like we've been kind of going through a series I don't even know what I'm going to call this little series, but whenever you're dealing with people, and I've said this several times, whenever you're dealing with people who are struggling, whenever you're dealing with people who are going through a lot of things, or you are that person who is struggling or going through a lot of things, you will have moments.
Talk to him.
Where you don't see an available outcome other than the most negative one possible.
Woo!
I mean, really, you will have like that, and to me, and those who have maybe experienced this can clarify this for me, because I haven't. But this is what I see it as, because I used to not understand suicide and things like that, but I think I do now. And I think what my understanding is of it is that in that moment, it makes sense to you to remove yourself from the equation of life, because you believe that you have nothing to contribute. You believe that if you go missing today, that there is nothing for you, that no one's going to miss you because you didn't contribute.
You have no impression.
Right.
You don't think you've left anything
right
of value.
So as a result, since you don't ascribe value to yourself, you're not going to ascribe value to your life. And if you don't ascribe value to your life, you will be more than willing to forfeit it in a moment where you think that. So with that being said, that's a case where affirmations have to be put in place. Because sometimes you need the affirmation that, yes, you are important. Yes, somebody's going to care if you make it or not. Somebody's going to care if you exist or not, whether or not you did one good thing or 20,000 good things. It doesn't matter.
Right.
The truth of the matter is, somebody's going to care that you exist.
Yep.
If don't nobody else care that you exist, you should care that you exist. You know? Because the truth of the matter is, look,
you gotta love yourself.
Removing yourself from an equation that you don't understand isn't going to produce any type of result that you want. We don't understand life, not in the way that we think we do. Life is variable, and it changes with every passing day, every passing moment, you know. And I say all of that to say that.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Sorry, I had to get this man his flowers.
But for real, I say that to say that you have to give yourself the opportunity to experience what life has to offer you, and then make the best choices from there. You can't just go one route or go one way, or, choose one path and think that just because that didn't work out, that all of a sudden you're a failure and that there's nothing else for you. Life may be too short to not value it, but life is also too long for you to assume that you can that you just have to try one thing and that's the only thing you can try. That there's just one method to living your life, and that's the only method you should ever attempt.
Or giving up after that first mistake or failure.
Yeah.
I wish they, I think growing up, and I don't think necessarily, at least from the standpoint of like your parents or anything, but or guardian or whoever took care of you. But growing up, society definitely puts this emphasis on success.
Yes.
Especially if you're a man in this world where, nobody really talks about how necessary failure is.
Yes.
Nobody talks about the literal fact that there'll definitely be days where you don't want to do this.
No.
Like we heard, hey, don't rush to get grown.
Yeah. We all heard.
But no one ever really, like, it wasn't really like, you kind of just had to figure out for yourself
what that meant.
Because not too many people were being completely thorough. No. And I get it. I mean, you're not going to you might not necessarily have a conversation with your 5-year-old about the fact that, they're going to be paying bills and taxes and stuff for the rest of their life unless they're homeless.
Right.
But at the same time,
you have to give them a sense of, I think a lot of it starts with a sense of purpose, a sense of necessity, and to some degree, a sense of autonomy. And sometimes that's the problem, like especially when you're approaching kids, is that a lot of these kids, especially teenagers, they're approaching an age where they're coming to understand themselves in a different way and in a different realm and see themselves in a different light. But they don't have the associated power necessary to complete that change.
Magic, I don't mean to interrupt, but Magic said, damn, you're saying a lot of things I need to hear, but I wish my younger self heard too.
Well, we certainly appreciate it. And, honestly, I agree. Some of these things that I'm saying, I said I've had to say to myself at certain moments.
Hell yeah.
There's always going to be a moment where you question whether or not you're doing what you're supposed to do or you're doing what you're meant to do.
And honestly, look, for some of us, that may be every day.
Oh, yeah. Easily.
That may be every day.
Yes. Because some things.
And that don't make you weird.
No. Some processes are day by day. And sometimes we sit there and we whine about it, and then boom, you halfway done and you didn't even realize it because you were too busy whining. Or boom, you're stuck somewhere because you weren't looking where you were supposed to go. Remember the analogy I gave about the Red Sea? There is no logical reason that a bunch of people with functional pairs of eyes should have been walking around in a circle for 40 years. But the reason they were is because they lost sight of what they were supposed to do. They lost sight of their purpose. And yes, there was someone who was giving them affirmation of that purpose. But because they would refuse to accept it, it caused problems. It caused stagnation. Now you stuck, and now you mad because you stuck. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you have situations where people don't blame themselves. They blame everybody else. So as a result, they can't even truly accept the affirmations that they should receive for what they actually do as enough, because in their minds, they do it all. In their minds, they do everything right. So in their mind, it's a half step for you to only give them, well, you do this well, and you've done this well. I keep saying it, but affirmations have to be rooted in reality.
Yeah. Otherwise, to many,
yeah,
and eventually to you, it just sound like babble, craziness,
and it will make you. It'll eat away at you because when you because sometimes unrealistic affirmations can set you up to have unrealistic goals and ambitions. And
outcomes.
Yes, and unrealistic goals and ambitions usually lead to some measure of disappointment.
Yep. And you'll just beat yourself up about it constantly.
Yeah.
And that kind of ties into the stream we had about unrealistic expectations.
Yes.
And even where are we getting these unrealistic expectations?
Yes.
Because
you have to seek out the source. You have to seek out the source of what it is.
Find the roots
that's going down and what it is that is causing certain things to happen. If you figure that out, it doesn't mean you'll get the whole picture, but it definitely makes it easier to look at when you understand where something comes from. Even if a behavior is quote unquote toxic, and y'all know I hate that word, or something is, quote unquote negative or just anti-pro, or is just not pro-social, is not good for anybody, it's easier to understand when you understand the motive behind it.
Facts.
Now, if there is no motive behind it, that's a different story. But, realistically, there are moments where we require affirmation that what we're doing is right, that what we're doing is okay.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we give ourselves false affirmations where in situations where, we know something's wrong, but we don't want to admit to it. We don't want to talk about it.
You got to be true to yourself.
Yeah.
You definitely do have to be true to yourself. If you scared, you scared.
Right. It's okay. And that's totally okay.
You can try and tell yourself as many times, but if you still come away with that same feeling, don't try to convince yourself of something that you're not. Don't try to be somebody you're not.
Once again,
you don't have to do that.
Once again, take what that is and root it in reality. Fear is a natural response.
Mhm.
It is a natural response to external stimuli. What is the external stimuli that is causing you to experience fear? What is that fear, that experience of fear trying to tell you or teach you?
What did they say? They had an acronym. I don't know where it came from. You know the acronym for fear is, right?
Or,
False evidence appearing real.
yeah. Because that's just an example of what the mind can do. Irrational fear is one of the most dangerous things in the world because it can give way to stress. Stress is one of the top killers of people in the world. And that's kind of what we're getting at, is that you have to have a level of balance and a level of understanding in order to not only validate and give positive affirmations to others, but also to say them within yourself, you know. And personally, I feel like you should give yourself credit for the things that you do accomplish.
For sure.
Yeah, like the other things, okay, whatever. But
There's nothing wrong with hyping yourself up. It only comes off as arrogant and egotistical when you're talking down onto other people or saying you're so much better than other people. You can talk, you can toot your own horn without tooting in the face of others.
right.
Like, if you're proud of something, there's nothing wrong with being proud of things.
But there is something wrong with you rubbing it in somebody else's face and making them feel some type of way because they're not quite you.
Right. And I always tell people, I don't compare myself to nobody. I talk highly of myself, but not to say I'm better than anyone else, because I'm proud of the things that I've done.
Right.
I'm proud of the person that I've came to be despite everything that I've went through.
Yeah.
And we all have that story to tell.
Yeah.
I think for some people, I think it's hard for some people to find love within themselves because they find it hard to show admiration of self without feeling like they're being that egotistical person.
Yes.
They're being that arrogant person.
Let's see. Kiki Nikoto says, shine without dimming someone else's light. Yes.
Exactly.
And
exactly,
that's
Kiki.
it.
And that's the thing. You're supposed to shine.
Yes.
You're supposed to shine. And that's why I say I think a lot of people fall short of it is that, and all you got to do is really look at yourself. Think of all the things you've done throughout life. We've all made different types of achievements, and they don't start when you grown or get in the corporate world. No. I mean, you might have won a trophy somewhere like, actually, I'll give a real world example. Okay. I remember like back when I was in elementary school.
Yeah.
This was K through 8, Chicago. And I got in a science fair. Ooh. I was really excited to get in science fair. I was like, ooh, I gotta do this.
You got something.
I did something about, I think originally I was gonna do something with a magnet. I don't even remember what it actually ended up being was it was winter. And I was wondering about salt.
Mm-hmm.
And what I was wondering about was like rock salt and its ability to melt ice.
Right.
And basically how much more effective rock salt was at melting ice than like hot water.
Right.
So I made a whole little science project based around that. I ended up getting 3rd place in the science fair.
Nice.
But the thing about it was, and yes, this is me tooting my own horn, but here's the difference. What made me so proud of that was I was going against kids in higher grades.
Right.
I was going against the school.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like
out of the school,
I got 3rd place.
Right.
And I never said, 3rd place made me better than everybody else who didn't even place in saying that. But what I was saying is that I was proud of that moment for me. I didn't get 1st and I didn't 2nd. And that didn't matter to me.
Right.
Because I still achieved something. And yes, sometimes, really most of the time, something is better than nothing. Because when you ain't got nothing,
you ain't got nothing.
Whoo!
That's the end.
That's different.
Yeah.
But when you got something, there's something to be grateful for. There's something to be thankful for. And those things in and of itself are you showing gratitude is being proud. If somebody gives you something, it makes you happy that they gave you something.
Right.
There is a level of happiness and even ownership
Yeah.
and, proudness that goes with that.
Because somebody gave that to you. They
Y'all
deemed
know,
you to be of enough value.
worthy
give it
enough
to you.
that here, this is what I bestow upon you, essentially.
Right.
Like how kids do. You ever notice whenever you give kids stuff, like regardless of where it came from, how much it costs, they're not really thinking about that. But once they get it, they're thinking about the fact that
they received it.
Sometimes they're like, yay, you got me this.
Right.
Sometimes as soon as you give it to them, they're like, this is mine. And they treat it literally like they got it themselves. Because they're that proud
of whatever it is.
Having whatever it is.
Right.
They're not immediately concerned with, whether somebody else has it or not. Right. But as kids, we all had that moment too, though, right? And I think that's another thing too, right? Like, if you was never taught as a kid to share, if you was never really taught as a kid, to not talk down on people, who don't have what you have, to be thankful for what you have,
to treat others,
that might translate.
Treat others the same,
that might translate in how you behave about those things as an adult.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, plenty of us know adult people that do that, absolutely. Right? But I was always taught as a kid, like, you don't do that.
Right.
Like some of us got nieces and nephews that do that right now. Ooh. They're like, ooh, look what I got. That's why I got this.
Right. And be dangling in front of them. Like,
and you don't got this. Like
and you can't have it.
Right.
And you bet not touch it because I'll punch you in the face. Like,
and if your parents didn't nip that in the bud for you, it probably shows today.
Yeah. I've literally met fully grown people who have not
do that same thing, right?
Yes,
exactly.
Because they first thing gonna be
it starts somewhere, y'all.
Because it's mine. I'm entitled to that. They ain't gonna say it exactly that way, but they're gonna come at your neck for something stupid.
It was really rudimentary, but one of the things that I grew up understanding, because it was taught to me. It was basically a self-chant, a chant passed on to me.
What's that?
That I could do anything if I put my mind to it. I can do anything that I believe that I can do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's simple. Many of us heard these phrases. How many of y'all was actually not only applied them, but how many of y'all was actually raised up on that? Because it's a simple phrase. Everybody's heard it. But were you raised up on that? That's the question to ask yourself. If you weren't, then you might have a different outlook on certain things. Me, it was kind of always instilled in me that I could do whatever I put my mind to if I really wanted to do it. And so that's where that's where the affirmations come in at.
Right.
That's where the building up of self-confidence comes in at. Yeah. That's how you break those walls of insecurity that many of you have.
Generational curses,
and trauma,
and realistically,
fight that ish.
realistically.
And if you can't fight it alone, get you some help.
Right. Because realistically, when you're dealing with things that require affirmation, when you're I'm not going to say when you're dealing with a person who requires affirmation, because we all do. We just need it at varying levels. But
oh yeah, we all take in affirmation.
When you're dealing with someone, you have to be careful, because there are some people that need a little bit more. Some people need a little bit less. Some people need you to kind of coddle them a little bit because they're just not ready yet. They're not
basically
there yet.
To put it in terms of Avengers, if Thanos just did the finger snap, right? You know what I'm saying? And you Tom Holland somewhere, reach out to your friends, your family, create you a support system. If you ain't got no therapist, but also reach out to your therapist too if you do got one. If you don't know where to go, definitely check out BetterHelp. We are not sponsored. I'm working on that though. But
that'd
definitely
be cool.
Check them out. They make it pretty easy to find a therapist, and it works really well, especially in this day and age where people are in the houses due to the pandemic. A lot of people are not going out to the doctor and going about it that way.
A lot of people are doing it virtually.
Yeah, a lot of people are doing telehealth, and there ain't nothing wrong with that neither. No. Don't forego therapy because you feel you need to be in somebody's office. Don't be that person.
Right.
You can get help over the phone. The same way you call your friend for some help.
Right.
In an area where they might not even have expertise. In fact, might even be on the negative receiving end, like
And-
many of us do when we seek advice.
And to be perfectly honest, half the time they asking you this stuff just so they can hear themselves too. So,
yeah,
because this is where affirmation comes in as well. When you've already made up your mind about something, but you want the affirmation that what you're saying and what you're doing is correct. You want that because there is some part of you as a human being that wants to be right. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, and sometimes you're wrong, and that's okay.
Right.
That is completely okay. Hey, it's quite interesting when you are wrong, because when you are wrong,
Yeah.
it encourages you to rethink some things.
Yeah. And you
usually
approach
when you're
it
right about something,
from an
you leave it at that.
Yeah.
When you're wrong about something, even if you don't think you're wrong about it, somebody tell you you're wrong about something, you might actually take the chance to actually kind of think about it, even if you don't change your mind on it.
Right.
It encourages you to think about it, as opposed to you being right about something. You're probably just gonna leave it where it's at. But
Right.
we ain't gonna belabor the point. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna keep y'all all night. We also have a affirmations audio pod.
Yes, we do. Actually, let me go ahead and post it.
If you want to jam out in the car, we might even you know what?
In the car.
We might have to do something. We might have to do we're gonna do a lyrical exposition on affirmations too.
Ooh, yeah, that'll be nice.
For some of y'all,
That'll
when
be
y'all
good
on
in
y'all
the
commute,
future.
oh yeah, when you're on your commute and you need some words of affirmation, not really advice, but you need to hear some
words
some
of
power.
affirmation. Yeah, a little something.
We might have to serve that up on the platter for y'all.
Yes,
you can bump that in your car in the morning.
Something to get you right.
Somebody like, oh, all you do is listen to all that crazy rap music. These are affirmation, honey.
Right.
Do you hear that? This said, yes, I can. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, this said, yes, I can.
This said, believe.
No, believe
you
it.
You got this.
Look, believe it.
Hey,
no
imagine being in traffic. Imagine being in traffic. Imagine being in traffic. And you pull up to somebody and they bumping music and all you hear is, yes, you can. You can do it. It's all about you. Or even better.
No cap, there's ASMR videos that do that. I can't with you.
Had to.
I can't with you.
Listen.
There's low key a better one than that, and I don't even know if you can find it. But
it's probably somewhere. But and don't get
you
it
probably
twisted.
know which one I'm talking about. You probably know.
Don't get it twisted, y'all. Words of affirmation don't have to be like specifically rooted in things like yes, you can and stuff. Some people get affirmation purely out of stuff like this. It's over 9,000. So whatever it is that invokes that feeling into you to be more, to do more, to think more, to grow more, that's what you need to have yourself rooted in. And you're going to be all right, I promise you. But it don't hurt to do that. And I'm definitely one of them type of people, hey, I ain't even gonna front with y'all. Sometimes I talk to myself. Because sometimes it's only stuff that I can tell me. But with that, right? Sometimes sometimes you might be out in public and you might be feeling weak.
Yep. Look, and when you do,
don't wait on nobody to tell you to pat you on the back. Pat your damn self on the back.
I low-key just got you, bro. Hold on. You already know what it is, don't you?
You're wilding.
I mean, say it ain't encouraging. Say it ain't encouraging, though.
Moment of silence, y'all. Here it is. If you know, you know.
Yep. Classic.
Hey, we still on code for those of y'all who are purists. Just listen.
Unreal. My gosh. This is amazing.
Piccolo Fuse with Kami.
Incredible. Yes. I can win.
Nail and Kami.
I can do this.
Yo, he was hyped. He was hyped when he merged. He was hyped.
I'm alive. This is all a miracle. I'm awake. I'm wide awake.
Y'all hear that? That power.
Hang
Bro,
All right.
bro.
I'm gonna see if I can
I'm
find
gonna
that.
use that one day.
Bruh, that man, that
It's
would
the
go.
fact that he said, I'm awake, I'm home, I'm alive. I'm like, you sound like
You hear
a
that?
whole motivational speaker.
If that ain't the most, man, hey, as soon as you
Look,
open your
dog.
eyes, if that ain't the most powerful statement you can say in the morning,
Right.
I'm alive.
Right.
Okay. Also, and I can't forget, for those of us who have belief systems, different denominations, however you go about it,
Right.
always remember that you have that to lean on as well.
Yeah.
So, if you God fearing,
Yep.
lean into that.
Look, and I mean,
Because whether you realize
Right.
it or not, prayer is affirmation.
yes.
It ain't.
Yes.
Prayer is the most
affirmation.
most
Absolutely.
rudimentary for most people form of affirmation that exists.
Yeah. And I mean, and the truth of the matter is, like, if you want to lean into that, because there are people who do believe that, if you believe in a higher power, if you believe in God, look, if you don't know anything else, if you don't see any other affirmations, there are religious texts that have affirmations. There are things that show you that, at the end of the day, you have a creator that loves you and created you with love. So as a result of that by itself is an affirmation, because it's an affirmation that you exist for a purpose
that is greater than yourself.
Right.
And for those of y'all who don't
Right.
believe in a higher power, as far as I know, most of you do have a basic form and code of ethics and morals that you stand by. So lean back into your morals, your values. What are the things that you stand by?
Right.
What are the things that make you you? What are your boundaries? Fall back into those things. Root yourself in there, and that'll help orient your direction, where you need to go, where you need to be going.
Yes.
And where you're going to end up.
And even beyond that, just having the understanding that your self-worth, notice what it says, self-worth, is how you value yourself. In the end of the day, you choose what you appraise yourself at. You choose how you appraise yourself. You appraise yourself first. You know what I'm saying? No one at all can tell you how great or how not great you are better than yourself.
Facts.
Because guess who you got to live with for the rest of your life? Yourself.
You.
Yeah.
Guess who you got to see in that mirror? You.
So you may as well make the most of it, because it ain't changing. So
straight up.
Look, make it work for you.
But shoot, bro, I ain't got much more to say. We ain't gonna keep y'all all night on this.
I think we didn't preach all day, but
I think we didn't gave the folks enough.
Yeah. I think we good. But
once again, y'all, we already have our audio only affirmations podcast.
Yes.
Our podcast, for those of y'all who don't know, it's on the screen.
Yep.
Basically, the 30 minutes or less.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing. For most of y'all, that's a car ride to work.
For real. Except for the old pods, some of those are a little longer. But
yeah,
I mean,
some of those are a little bit long. But that one I think is around the 30-minute mark.
Yeah.
So definitely check that out. You can listen to it in the background and everything. Our audio podcast available wherever you listen to podcasts. Absolutely. We're also on Facebook.
Yes.
Both for the live streams and for the audio podcast. For those of y'all who live in the meta world.
Yep. Facebook actually did something right for once.
Yeah, you can listen to us. Just go follow our Facebook page. You can see it on there, or even the community. The community, we ain't gonna front with y'all. The community is under construction.
Yep.
We're trying to make it to where you guys feel more comfortable to have discussions and stuff, and interact with each other and everything.
Because we need that. We need.
We need community. Community is how we grow.
Community and communication.
Yes, communication and community. But with that being said, we're just gonna say the last few parting words, and then we're gonna let y'all go on our way on this Sunday evening.
Really, at the end of the day, we want you to have everything. And I know this, I've said this a lot, but we want you to understand that whether it's an affirmation, whether it's encouragement, whether it's anything that you're saying, kind words, whatever, make sure that what you're saying is rooted in reality.
Make sure it's rooted in reality.
Sugarcoating is nice until it's time to peel it away.
I would also add, with your self-talk, with your words of affirmation, orient what it is that you're saying to yourself
Yes.
relative to where you're going, who you want to be, what you want to be, and what outcomes that you want out of life. When in doubt, fall back on your beliefs, your morals, your
Principles,
values,
yeah.
and your boundaries and principles.
And
It will always get you back on
right.
track.
And one thing I would challenge everybody to do, because I think this will be good for all of us, is every time that you think of something that is negative about yourself, because it's easy to do, I want you to attempt to think of, to ponder on, to meditate on something positive about yourself. Doesn't have to be big, doesn't have to be small, whatever. But it has to be something positive. That's the constraint. Think on something. If you have to think on something negative about yourself, because I understand that we live in reality where some of us do have negative traits. Some of us have negative traits we ain't worked out. That is what it is. Let's also think about and meditate on the positives as well, because you want balance. You want balance. You know, you should be able to balance your positive with your negative. If you don't, it becomes troublesome, because you end up in a situation where your bad is outweighing your good. You know, them old look, what was that old song that I won't complain? It said, all of my good days outweigh my bad days. And the reason it says that is because of the fact that, you know, when it comes to positivity versus negativity, you want your good to outweigh your bad. You want it to outweigh your bad, because that's going to tell you, okay, I still won out. I still won out. Yeah, I might have had a crappy day, but this happened. Yeah, I may have screwed up at this, but I did good here. You know, give yourself the opportunity to fail, but also give yourself the opportunity to appreciate yourself. Appraise your self-worth and do it right. Don't devalue yourself and don't overvalue yourself. Hit it right where it's at. And if it's below your expectation or your expected, you know, cost or value level, find out the ways to upgrade it. Be realistic. Be realistic.
Facts.
Yeah.
I agree on that.
But other than that, man, I think that's all that we have for you. Like we do at this time, we want to thank you and appreciate everyone who tuned into the live stream, and also everyone who'll be watching later on. If you have any affirmations that you want to give, or things that, or any affirmations that you like,
yeah, what works for you,
drop them in the comments.
Definitely,
because the comments will be there forever. And maybe
use that.
Look, and maybe somebody might read it and like it. Maybe somebody might read it and it'll get them through their day.
Yeah, might really help somebody.
But I would say this has been the Black in a Minute podcast, once again brought to you by Twyman Art in this lovely, lovely area that we're in now.
Yes.
All the artwork. We're back with artwork, and I love it. I go by NeRo, AnGeLo.
And I go by the DarksKing Poet. That's dark skin with a G on the end.
Yes, indeed. And we bid you farewell. Good night, good evening, good whenever you're listening to this. Peace out.
Power.